So, hey guys, today I wanted to do something very different from normal. Normally I like to make videos about games that I play, but today I actually wanted to make a game, a browser game to be more specific. So, you don't really need any programming knowledge if you want to follow my videos. It's somewhat helpful to have some programming knowledge. However, I will be programming slowly and explaining everything that I do so that you can follow along. We will be programming in HTML, CSS, GS, JavaScript, SQL, and PHP, sorry. Um, so a lot of browser-based languages and one server-side language, PHP, to process all the server-side details. First of all, I'm not a clean programmer, I'm not a conventional programmer. I've never studied at a school for programming. Nobody ever taught me the conventions or the rules within programming. So if you want to learn about that, I recommend finding another information source. If you have any tips or advice, please let me know. I would really appreciate it. So to start off, I will show you some programs, handy websites and basic styles that you can that you should get actually um, in order to start very quickly. So first off, I recommend getting let's go to Google for just follow along and Google for Aptana Studio and go to the first link and download it. It's a very nice editor. It will allow you to make an environment in which you can add folders and files, and it will immediately upload to your FTP location or your uh, website's location. So you don't have to drag files around, you don't have to be working with windows like this. Like before you had to do that a lot and create files in here and be messy with that. So I also really recommend getting I've already got it opened. I really I really recommend getting MySQL because so you can very easily access a database and create tables inside of it like this. Let's call this one test. Add something like this, whatever. Save it, and that's a table created, and you can create columns inside of it, like ID or whatever. Go to data, add a row, one, whatever. So it's very easy to work with. Let me drop this one again. I really like the ease and fast use of Aptana and MySQL, so I recommend getting those. So if you want to program a very simple site, you won't need to get a server. But since we are going to be working with PHP and server-side languages, we will have to get a server in order to run the server-side language. So for this I recommend getting WAMP server, or yeah, just get WAMP server, or if you prefer you could get XAMPP server. I I really like to use WAMP because it's just quicker and easier to use. It's just download it, install it, and it will run. So just install Aptana, install MySQL, just next, 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 finish. It will work. Same with WAMP, just do that and it will work. So if you've installed these programs, open Aptana. So once you've installed Aptana and started up Aptana, create a new project on the left. Click on PHP project, project name MMORTS, and browse. And you will probably not be getting this warning, but just untick the default location and browse, and look for the location where you've installed WAMP. So close these folders, probably computer, go into the drive where you've installed it, and there will be a folder called WAMP. Open it, click on www, make a new folder, and call it whatever you want. Okay. In this case I've called them the same. Leave the compatibility on the default PHP version and finish. So as you can see on the folder that I've just popped up, this is the WAMP folder, www folder. There's the MMORTS folder, and there's some basic standard Aptana files that Aptana will create. You can just ignore them. So from this point on, just close the folder and work in Aptana. So now on the left there will be a black empty box. It's no problem. So if you want to start off, just right click in the black box, new file, and in here create the file index.php and click finish. Since it's a PHP file, you don't really have to use PHP code. You could also use HTML, like for example test between some HTML strong codes, which will make the text bold. In order to view this in your browser, you will have to start up WAMP, which you can do with the WAMP shortcut. Just click Start WAMP Server, and it will open it up, and on the shortcuts on the right you will see it in your Quick Icons menu. It's currently online. If you want to access your site, go to localhost / the folder that you've created inside of WAMP, in my case MMORTS, and you can see the test in a strong. So let's remove this and open PHP, close PHP. Each tag also has an opposite closing tag. That's a general rule. So this is to open your PHP code. This is to close your PHP code. So let's create a little bit of spacing for easiness. I think it would be nicest for you to start off doing the traditional hello world code. So if you want to echo hello world towards the browser, or you want it to be visible in the browser, type the following: echo hello world, and close it off with a semicolon. Now if you go to your browser and refresh the page, it will say hello world. So this is your first PHP code. So let's just remove this once again, open PHP, close PHP, a little bit of spacing for easiness. And what I like to do at this point is basically make an if statement, and you can it might be a little bit overwhelming, but just follow along and it will be fine. Create your if statement. So let me go back a little bit. If open closed, Aptana will actually immediately do the opposite for you, so you don't have to worry about it. Like for example, right now I open the brackets and I immediately add a closing bracket. So put it down. So if variable, so I will start with a $sign, which basically means that you're going to make or declare a variable or use a variable. So in this case maintenance. If maintenance is equal to 1, echo the site is currently under maintenance. So you are already familiar with the echo way of doing things, so I will not explain it again. It's pretty simple. So basically, if maintenance is equal to 1, it will display the following sentence: the site is currently under maintenance. So let us create a variable at the top, called maintenance, you can basically declare it the same way as you're using it in an if statement. The only difference is that now you're going to say is 1. So basically what that does is it will assign 1 to maintenance. Maintenance is 1. Simple as that. So if maintenance is equal, so is equal to 1, is different than maintenance is 1. So here we are assigning a 1 to maintenance, and here we are looking if maintenance is 1. So if we would run this script, the following would happen. The site is currently under maintenance because maintenance is 1. So now let's extend our script a little bit. Else if. So basically, if maintenance is not 1, we could do that. We could do that very simply like this. Website. This is how the site would normally look. Bloop, semicolon. Then if, so basically if maintenance is 1, display this code. If it's something else, doesn't matter what, but if it's different than 1, then show this is how the site would normally look. So since I've set maintenance to 0, it will display the bottom piece of text. So since the site is in maintenance, we could put it back to 1 and it would, the site is currently under maintenance, which is fairly easy to do. If you want to be if you want to have a static second comparison, then I recommend extending the code a little bit by adding another if behind the else. So you are comparing it to something else again. Else if otherwise maintenance is 0. This is how the site would normally look. So what you've done now is basically excluded all the other things that it could have been. Right now it's only going to display the second piece of text if maintenance is 0. So right now if maintenance is 3, nothing would happen. What you've got right now is basically true or false, 0, once, 0, once. You could do the same. To have the same result, you could do this: false, true, false, and it would work. If maintenance is false, show the last code. If maintenance is true, show the maintenance text, like this. So this is basically a very simple piece of code. Just put maintenance on false because we want to be able to see this part. Why I've made this is basically because in the future people will be playing our game, hopefully, and when we want to make edits to our page, we want to be able to turn off the game and be able to work on it without people working on our playing inside our work in progress. It would be really messy. So this way we can completely exclude everybody from the site. So maintenance is currently false. We are not in maintenance because we're still building. So just remove this piece of code and let's continue working inside of it. Just use tab to create the spacing, by the way. Tab, backspace, tab, backspace. What also is really useful with Aptena is if you select code like this and you press tab, it will go forward, but if you press shift tab, it will go backward. Very useful. So go to the last else if maintenance is false, if maintenance is not on, if maintenance is not going on, basically display this side, I suppose. So let's add some HTML, which we can do right now. If we would place some HTML in there, there would be errors, it would be bad. So that's because we are currently working in PHP mode. If you want to stop working in PHP mode, close PHP, open PHP for the last tag, and inside, in between, enter HTML, and it would work. No errors. So just press enter, create a new line in between, make a header part, and just go down here, create a body part, and that's basically the basics of a website. You don't really require the PHP part, because, for example, if we would only run the HTML right now, it would work, no problem. We could put some text in here and it would work, no problem. So let's go back. Here we go. What would be really nice to do now is create a title for our page. So our game is called an MMO RTS or whatever else you want to create, and use a separator, and my game is awesome, and just save it and go to your browser and refresh it, and now you can see that the title of the page is MMO RTS, my game is awesome. So that's a very basic page setup. So let's create a paragraph. Hello, welcome to my awesome MMORTS. Now if you go to, this is basically the opening paragraph tag and the closing paragraph tag. And a paragraph, well, you know what a paragraph is, so just text in between. Hello, welcome to my awesome MMORTS. Very bare bones, but very yeah, it's basically just the basics. So let's go to the right, to the structure of your website, and click on right mouse, right click, and create a new folder and call it system. And then in here, right click on the folder, new file, config.php, and create it, and it will automatically open the folder, place the file inside, and create a new file, and open it as well immediately. So in here, open PHP, close PHP, create a variable title, is a variable, the separator is, just follow along. I understand if this is a little bit overwhelming, just copy my typing or download the source files from the description and follow along from there. So create another variable description, a variable maintenance, a variable database DB server, DB username, DB password. Oh, DB password, enter, delete, backspace, sorry. Another variable, DB, yeah, DB, just DB is fine. Now as you can see, this looks a little bit messy, so what I would do is go back, go to the first equal sign, and just tap a few times until it's at a nice distance, and do the same for the rest to look a lot nicer. Maintenance, sorry about that, it's like so. Just ignore the error for now. Do this for the rest as well. And let's enter some information. The title of our game is MMORTS. The separator between the description and the title is a middle score thingy. My awesome MMORTS game. Oh, small letters. Maintenance is 0 or false, let's use that. Or database, let's ignore the rest, it's fine for now. So what we've created right now is a configuration file that contains some critical information about our game or program. So how do we now use this in our index file? So how do we make sure that once people go to this page that the configuration file is loaded? It's actually very easy. Just type include quotation mark system for the folder slash config.php for the file which is inside system, and then at the end use a semicolon to close off. And what now happens is, as soon as the file is loaded, the first thing that will be done is include the config file. Just basically copy the contents of this page into this page. But the reason why we do not do that in first instance is to keep a clear structure and just be able to divide important aspects of our game over different files. So since we've already declared maintenance in our config file, we can now delete the maintenance variable in the index page, and then the if statement will actually find the maintenance variable in the config file. So next, right now we've statically entered the title and or description quotation mark. What we can do to change this is open PHP, close PHP, echo title. So echo the variable. You don't have to put quotation marks around this variable because there's already quotation marks around our variable in the configuration file. This is a thing that you will have to get used to, get a feeling for when you have to use quotation marks, when you don't. It will become natural to you. So echo title, echo separator. This is probably not the nicest way to do it, but it's the easiest way to do it. Echo description. So you will first display the title, then you will display the separator, then you will display the description. Now if you go to your page, you will get an error. Awesome. Line 4. Maintenance is not defined. What did I do wrong? If maintenance includes system config, it's fine. If maintenance, let me make sure that I've spelled it correctly. No, I didn't. Sorry about that. Now it should work. So we've echoed the title, the separator, and description. If you go to your page, it will be loaded in the top. Now it's variable. The advantage of this over static text is that you've now got this information in one central file. So if you're using this in 100 files, you can edit it in one place, and that's a great advantage, because if you don't do this, you will have to edit this information in all those places. So the next step, well, what would be really useful right now is some nice marker, just to make some really quick progress and not have to worry about the looks, and just be able to focus on the programming. So in order to do that, let's create a new folder called front end. And oh wait, sorry about that. Just drag it in front on the index. Put it on the same level as the system folder. Right click on the front end folder, new folder and call it design. That's fine. So now you will have front-end design. Go to the internet, and what's important right now is that you go to Google and look for awesome font and open it. What this basically is a font style that has an amazing amount of icons in it that will really help you speed up your designing process, because you don't have to worry about making these things and just be able to use all these standard things, and they will really make your UI or your menu and stuff look a lot nicer. And it's very easy to include this into your site by clicking on Get Started, and just copy this link right here, Bootstrap CDN, copy it, go to Antenna, go to the head of your site, make some room under the title and paste it down. There we go. Just save it, and if you go to your site, nothing will happen, and that's good. I will quickly show you what you can do now. Go to icons and click on something that you like. For example, the car, it's cool. So copy the link down here, just the item. Go to your site in preparation, click on antenna, and behind the text that you've made between the paragraph tags, paste the car, save it, and go to your site, reload, and there's the car. It's very useful later. So remove that again, reload your site, and it's fine. So next, another very useful thing is Bootstrap. Go to Google, enter Bootstrap, get Bootstrap, the first link. Click on Getting Started and download Bootstrap. Open it in zip and put it on the half of your Windows. It's pretty useful. Put Antenna on the other half, and within front-end design, drag these 3 folders like so. Just copy the files and folders, open design, and there they are. So full screen Antenna again. What you will have to do now is go back to the Bootstrap side, and now I will have to look carefully, scroll down to this part and copy the part in the head from the opening to the closing. Just copy it, go back to Antenna and paste it below the style sheet, below the link. Paste it and just use tab to just highlight it, and press tab to put it in a nice place. Now you can delete the gray stuff, it's comments, just delete it. Delete the title tag that comes with the code that we've just copied. And if you go to the last link, the href link, you will have to change the path that it leads to. So as you can see, your path is different. It starts in the front. The Bootstrap the minimum Bootstrap style sheet, cascading style sheet file is actually located in front design CSS Bootstrap min. So you have to change the href to front end design CSS bootstrap min.css, and then it will be fine. So if you go back to your site, not much will have changed, except there's a different font style, but nothing much else. Keep this website open. Just go back to the home page and leave it there. Go to Google again and look for, I believe it's called Open Sans font, and click on the first link. Open Sans in Google Fonts and click on the choose the styles you want, click on light, normal, semi-bold, bold, extra bold. And then if you scroll a little bit down, copy this href link and place it below the last one and paste. Now you can close this one, keep Bootstrap open, go back to your site, and nothing will have changed. Yay! So, in order to use the font that we've just included into our site, right click on CSS, new file, style sheet CSS. And this will be our own style sheet, or where we will put down our styles that we want to use. So in our new style sheet we will have to use CSS instead of HTML and PHP and such. Since we want to change the font of our entire site, we can basically use the body tag. So body, bracket open, bracket close will automatically appear because of Tana. Press enter and the other bracket will go down automatically. And in here type font family. It will open some stuff and just hit enter and it will take the first option that appears, and select the content between the quotation marks and enter, type in open sans and close with a semicolon and save it. What it will do now is all the text within body will get this font. So all the content in the text between body will get this font family. If you go to the site, it's already fixed because Bootstrap naturally uses open sans, but I like to make sure that it's used properly. So before we end this video, I will show you one more thing that we can do. I suppose we should start working on a little bit of the layout, because that's very useful for us later on. So create a div in the body, and Aptana will immediately create the closing tag for you. Just press enter and it will go down, and you can type stuff in the middle in the content. A div is basically an area of your website, a section that you can give separate styling or separate positions. Make another one, another div, test, and put inside the first one header, in the second one content, and make another one and call it a footer. Now if you go to your site, you will have header, content and footer. Now select this and press tab, put your pointer behind the opening tag body, press enter, type div again, another div, copy the last bit, go to the last closing div, put your mouse pointer behind it, press enter, press backspace and paste the part that we've just copied, and this will basically wrap the divs inside one big div. Call this one, so I'm going a little bit too fast. We want to give the divs a name so that we can style them inside the style sheet. We can do this by using an ID like this. If the ID is equal to quotation mark name, we can also use a class. The difference is that an ID is used once and a class can be used multiple times. The difference is that if you are using classes, you want to design the classes in such ways that they are reusable. In this case we can just use an ID and call it wrapper. Go into your style sheet, and to make sure that you are calling an ID, place down a hash sign and then type wrapper, bracket open, bracket close will automatically appear, press enter type background color hash CCC. This will give a background color to the wrapper. Go back to your site, and it's not working because oh, of course, because it's not included into our site. So below the put your mouse pointer behind the last link href and create a new one. Link href is equal to quotation marks front end design CSS. Oh, sorry about that. CSS, and then our style sheet .css, and then close it. Oh wait, you also have to add rel style sheet. Type is text CSS. Just copy this from the screen. Now if you go to the site, it will work fine, no problem. So go into your style sheet again, give the wrapper a width. I recommend putting something like 1100 pixels, it's fine. And then you can see that it's cut off like this. And that's ugly, you want it to be in the middle. And you can achieve this very easily by typing margin 0 auto and semicolon. Width margin 0 auto semicolon. Save this, go to your site, and it's in the middle. So that's cool, right? So go back to Aptana, and in here, well actually I'm going to keep it at this, and we will continue programming next episode. Thank you for watching. If you like my video, please like this video and subscribe. So hopefully tomorrow I will release the next video. We will continue working until this game is completely done and until you have something that you can play. So once again, thank you, and if you have any tips or advice, please let me know. See you later.